I listen up, man, because I'm about to keep it a buck with y'all like a goddamn dollar store up in this bitch. You read the title, right? Your consciousness holds the keys to realize your destiny. Yes, sir. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Listen up, my guy. Your consciousness holds the motherfucking keys to realize your destiny. And you might be wondering, okay, man, what the hell does that even mean, bro? I thought my consciousness was just my thoughts. I thought my consciousness was just my mind. I thought my consciousness was just my brain. Now you're telling me that it holds the keys to realize my destiny. Oh, well, make that make sense. Relax. Relax. Relax, my guy. I'm gonna need you to just take a deep breath. Come on, do it with me. Get yourself grounded, because it's time for your boy to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. So first things first, what you must come to understand along this journey that we call life is that the way you perceive life, the way that you view life, the way that you experience your existence is dependent on what plane of consciousness you're rooted in. Yes, sir. Let that marinate into your motherfucking mind. Let that sink into your psyche, my guy. The way you experience this material existence of reality is dependent on what plane of consciousness that you're rooted in, on what plane of consciousness that you're operating under. And when we're talking about consciousness, we're going to categorize it within the traditional yogic science of the chakra system. You see, when I say the chakra system, some of you guys might be like, oh man, this sounds like some new age, bullshit. No, let me break it down. I was in your same seat as well. But this is a science. This ain't no new age spiritual nonsense that you may have seen in other content pieces. This is a real deal science that has been broken down from tradition to tradition within the Aryan and Eastern philosophies. You see, the chakra system is essentially categorizing these planes of consciousness within those chakras. And each one of these chakras is essentially a plane of consciousness, a category of consciousness. There are 7 main ones in the tantric tradition, which we're going to be talking about right here. And each one of these is a realm of reality that you're operating in when you're rooted there. For example, if I gave you some alcohol right now, we just pop some bottles and we getting drunk. From this state to that drunk state, from your sober state to that drunk state, your consciousness is altered. The way you view reality is altered, right? That substance rooted you into a different plane, into a different chakra. You see what I'm saying? Are you picking up what the fuck I'm putting down? So we roll up some kush right now. Fire up a 3.5 in a blunt. Pass it over to you. We getting high as a bitch, high as a kite. Of course, this state, your sober state, is going to be different when you're blitzed, when you're geeked off that kush. That substance altered your consciousness. It rooted you into a different plane. But I'm not saying you got to go get drunk or you got to go get high to alter your consciousness. That is not what I'm trying to say. That's just an example that you can see. When you're angry, same shit happens. When you're hungry, same shit happens. The way you perceive reality shifts. When you're hungry, you're not thinking about, peace, love, light, happiness, spirituality, this and that. No, you're thinking about, when's my goddamn next meal? Everything looks like something you want to eat. These fucking plants next to me, you want to eat them because you're so hungry. When you're in anger mode, survival mode, you're not going to be thinking about, these higher level topics of spirituality that we discuss over here on this channel. You're going to be thinking about, how do I keep and preserve my ego, my blood body? You see how each different plane of consciousness makes you view the world differently? That's what we're trying to understand and understand within the chakra system. We are trying to categorize these different planes to be able to identify when we are in them. You need to know when you're rooted in a specific chakra, because if you are unaware of it, you're going to be living your life unconsciously. Your conscious is going to be rooted into a specific plane and inevitably, shift your reality, and you're going to be unaware of it the entire time. You're going to be wondering, why am I so angry? Why am I so horny? Why am I so this? Why am I so that? Why do I feel stuck in life? Why do I feel unfulfilled in life? Why do I feel unsatisfied in life? It's because you're stuck in a certain plane of consciousness that you're not even aware of. So this is why we use the chakra system within the yogic traditions to understand what it means to be in this chakra, what it means to be in this plane of consciousness. How does it look like? How does it feel? And what are the poisons that keeps us stuck in them? And what are the medicines that we can use from that plane of consciousness to ascend to the next? You see, each chakra and each plane of consciousness has its poisons and has its medicines. When you are stuck in its poisons because you're unconscious and you're unaware of it, you get stuck in a certain plane of consciousness. And this is what society wants to do to you. It wants to keep you stuck in certain planes of consciousness so they can make your reality into a machine that you essentially get trapped in. They lure you into this plane of consciousness because they structure reality in a certain way where when you're in that plane of consciousness, reality reinforces you to stay there. Let me say that again. They want to keep you stuck in a certain plane of consciousness because the reality around you has been curated like a machine to reinforce you staying stuck into that state of consciousness. And if you don't believe me, go take a good look at the people around you. What are people focused on? Survival, sex, and status. Those are planes of consciousness. Survival, sensuality, not just sexuality, sensuality, and status. This is what people are focused on and orienting their consciousness towards 24/7. This is what their life's about. Survival, sensuality, aka getting pleasures from the senses, and status, pumping up their ego, getting validation from others. That's what everybody's life is. And it's fucking pathetic because most people don't even realize that they're in this cycle of these planes of consciousness and they're stuck there. And this is the reality that we're living in that keeps you there. It wants to keep you there. And it's going to do whatever it takes to keep you there. So it's going to put out pornography. It's going to put out junk food. It's going to put out, these internet influencers telling you that what it means to be a top G's, you got to get a Bugatti, biceps, and bitches. It wants to keep you there because that cycle, again, those planes of consciousness are not evil. None of them are evil. None of them are better than the others. But when you're stuck there, it's easy to control you because you're in your primal states. You're like an animal being domesticated. It's easy to domesticate you when you're operating on those planes because you have no direction. Your only direction is, again, survival, sensuality, and status. That's easy to manipulate. That's easy to keep you in the box, in the matrix. But along this journey of understanding each plane of consciousness, exploring your consciousness along the spine, again, the spine is where all these chakras reside. The spine is seen as the central channel, the central axis of consciousness within the yogic traditions. When you are exploring each plane of consciousness, you will run into something called compulsions. You'll realize if you become aware enough that when you're rooted in a certain state, what is the thing that keeps you there? The thing that keeps your consciousness there and making you basically have your entire life oriented towards that, whether it's survival, whether it's sensuality, whether it's status, whether it's all of them combined into one, you'll start to notice these things called karmas. And when I say karmas, I'm not saying you do good things will happen to you. You do bad things will happen to you. That's not the karma I'm talking about. I'm talking about the literal attachments that you create within your consciousness that keeps you bound to that specific plane through these compulsions. The more that you seek and search and strive for survival, for sexuality, for status, for sensuality, the more these karmic ties start to grow. Your dependency on these things start to grow. Your attachment to these things start to grow. And these cords, these karmic cords, are basically like steel wires that bolt your consciousness down to those planes in your spine. You're unable to rise above them. People cannot fathom a life or what life is about aside from survival, sensuality, and status. If you ask somebody on the street what life is about, they'll give you a bullshit answer, but at the end of the day, this is what they're talking about. They cannot fathom that they have a destiny. They cannot fathom that they have a duty. They cannot fathom that they have a dharma. When I say dharma, I'm talking about an ancient Aryan term that refers to what is the most natural to you. What's the way and mode of existence that you can live in that brings you the most fulfillment, that feels the most natural to you? That is what you are brought here to discover, because that is what will liberate you. You are a slave right now to those planes of consciousness. You are a slave to the external world that keeps you bound to them. You are basically drowning in karmas that is suffocating your soul and suffocating your consciousness, constricting your consciousness, better yet, into these lower planes. Do you see what I'm saying? Your consciousness has been hijacked by the programming of the Matrix to keep you bound to these lower states where you're distracted, where you can't see, where you can't realize your destiny, your dharma. Because if it keeps your consciousness there, if it keeps all your attention, all your focus, all your prana, all your life force to be funneled into these pursuits and oriented towards these ways of existence, the way you view life is going to be altered forever. Where you're just in the matrix, when you're in the conveyor belt system, when you're in the hamster wheel of hedonism. Just chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing, yet never satisfied throughout the process. Because at the end of the day, your body and brain might be quote unquote stimulated or satisfied by these pursuits, but your soul is starving. It's malnourished. It needs food, bro. And the food of dopamine ain't gonna cut it. That's not the diet that works for your soul. The diet that your soul needs, that the spirit needs, is something that is called divine nectar, what I like to call it. Divine nectar is a byproduct that is produced when you're living alignment to your dharma. When you're in that state where you're living alignment to your dharma, you are not dependent on the external world to give you satisfaction. You are living naturally. You're not searching and seeking for happiness. You are in that equilibrium state, that equalized state, that balanced state of what is most natural to you. My dharma is different than yours. Your dharma is different from mine. The dharma of a dog is different from a dharma of a fish. You take that fish out of water, don't matter how much survival, sex, and status you give it, it's still going to be yearning to live life naturally. And how does it live life naturally? What a fish is designed to do? Get into that motherfucking water and swim. Do you see what I'm saying? You are designed for a specific mode of existence, just like how a fish is meant to swim. But you forgot it. You don't know what it is. And you have been tricked into believing that these things that society has laid out in front of you, the script that society has programmed into your psyche from the moment you were born, is the right way to live your life. The pillars of success. And when you believe that bullshit, you're going to be living a life where all your consciousness, all your life force, all your prana is being drained to these agendas. And you might be achieving success in the eyes of society on the surface level, but deep down, you still are searching for something that will liberate you from this. That's why people go and become junkies and addicts. It's an escape mechanism, a coping mechanism for the fact that they're not living in alignment to their dharma. All that anxiety that they feel, all that depression that they feel, is signs and signals from their spirit telling them, hey man, this is not the path. I'm fucking starving. Turn this car around. Get me some goddamn food and you ain't gonna find it this way. Just like if you put your hand on a burning stove, your body's gonna send signals to your brain to, hey man, this is a lot of pain, get your hand off or you're gonna fucking be burnt to crisp. Your spirit sends signals not through pain, but through psychological pain, spiritual pain, depression, anxiety, and all these mental disorders to your mind to wake you up, to get you out of that position, just like it wants to get your hand off that stove. You don't got a mental disorder. You don't got chemical imbalances in your brain, whatever the fuck this science will tell you. At the end of the day, you are living undharmically. That is the only thing that matters. And the way you realize what that dharma is by exploring each plane of consciousness. not getting stuck in any planes, because each plane holds a piece of the puzzle to paint out the picture of what is your Dharma. But again, there's compulsions in each plane. Compulsions that keep you stuck there. Sensuality is not bad. Survival is not bad. Status is not bad. None of these things are bad, but when they dominate your consciousness and all your energy is being funneled towards those planes, then you have no energy to activate the other chakras. You see what I'm saying? You have no prana, life force, to activate the other chakras, awaken the other chakras that has the other pieces of the puzzle. So you're playing life right now in an incomplete manner. That's why you feel incomplete. Do you see what I'm saying? Are you picking up what the fuck I'm putting down? You're playing life at an incomplete state because you have not completed the ascent up your spine. You have not put all these pieces of the puzzle together to paint out the picture of your Dharma. And that's why you feel incomplete. Yes, the body might be satisfied. Yes, your brain might be stimulated, but that's not all you are. You are the self, which is a tripart entity. It is not just the brain, it's not just the mind, but it's the brain, the mind, and the soul put together. You're not just the body, you're not just your brain, and you're not just your soul. You are all of them. And each plane of consciousness is associated more to each plane. One of those parts. Take this equilateral triangle that I'm holding up right now like a pyramid. Imagine we start to alter it to the point where this top part starts to get less and less prana and these bottom two parts get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's not balanced. Now the body and brain are dominating. It's getting all the prana, it's getting all the energy, it's getting all the attention, it's getting all the focus, and that is what you've been living your life under this entire time. Your brain and body dominate. And your soul essentially becomes a prisoner within its own brain and body. Your consciousness is in a cage, unable to connect to the spiritual nature, the subtle nature of your existence, which is correlated to the higher chakras. And when I say higher, I'm not saying they're better. I'm just saying when we look at the spine from top or bottom down, we're talking about these chakras that are closer up to your head, to the crown, to your skull, compared to the bottom ones, which are associated with your body, that are closer to your genitals, closer to your lower body. Those chakras is where all of your energy and attention and focus and prana is being pulled down into. And I just dropped a video not too long ago on this channel, literally titled, "Wherever Prana Flows, Consciousness Grows." The more that your prana is being siphoned down into these lower planes, the bigger they grow. Just like those parts of the triangle that just grow bigger and bigger and bigger and put those whole thing into misalignment and makes it imbalanced. That's what happens. That's why they want to keep you stuck there. That's why they want you to just keep on consuming. And throughout that process of consumption, you're still unsatisfied. So what do? You consume more to distract yourself from that depression, from that anxiety, from that unsatisfaction. It is a fucking game being played on your motherfucking brain. Do you dig what I'm saying? You're a bitch to the system. Your consciousness is being hijacked. And you're unable to activate the other chakras, the other planes of consciousness. View reality from those planes, because if you hit those planes, you're not going to be as addicted to this. You're not going to be as enthralled by that. You're not going to be as attached, and you're going to start to dissolve those compulsions, dissolve those karmas, and slowly but surely discover your dharma, your destiny. They want to keep you out of that. They want to drain you of all your prana in the lower planes, so you stay in the lower planes. You stay in those planes of consciousness. And again, these are not evil, but when they start to dominate, things go out of balance. Things are incomplete, and at the end of the day, you feel incomplete. And how do you try to complete yourself? How do you try to make yourself feel whole? By going to these dopamine addictions, going to these external sources of happiness, which not only further reinforces the fact that you are incomplete, but also it makes that tie stronger. Are you picking up what the fuck I'm putting down? Come on now, wake up. This is what's going on. This is reality. And until you wake up from this dream, you're gonna be in this cycle from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. It ain't gonna fucking end when you die. Trust me, you're gonna carry on the karmas that you're carrying right now on over to your next life. Yes, sir, you heard what I said. I'm talking about the cycle of samsara, aka the wheel of reincarnation. You're gonna be stuck up in that bitch, and God knows how long you've been stuck up in this bitch. God knows how long you've been stuck up in this bitch. The only way you can access yourself into a state where you're no longer stuck in samsara is to liberate yourself while you're still alive. And again, how do you liberate yourself? Well, you live in alignment to your dharma. How do you find your dharma? Well, you got to first dissolve your karmas. You see, those karmas are like rust or like calcifications. If you ever had like a bike or like your faucet gets calcified, you can't fucking move it. You can't fucking move your bike around because it's rusted, it's got that calcification on it. That is the karmas that have accumulated throughout time. Again, those cords, those ties, those attachments that keep you stuck in those planes, you must burn them off. You must dissolve that calcification. You must take that rust out of your bike. But we're not talking about buying something at Home Depot, at Walmart to fucking spray on your goddamn sink or your bike to dissolve your rust. You need to dissolve it through spiritual practices, through sadhanas. Because just like how we talked about how if you drink alcohol, you smoke weed, can get you into an altered state of consciousness where you root yourself purposely in this state. Sadhanas, spiritual practices, do the same thing, but you don't gotta get high. You don't gotta fucking smoke a blunt. You don't gotta go do any of these things. You have to practice a specific sort of technique that allows yourself to get rooted in a certain plane. And when you're in that certain plane, you can examine what is that compulsion. And when you examine that compulsion, there's other practices that you do that allows you to burn it off. And how do you burn it off? Not by doing anything, but actually by not doing anything. This is what's called renunciation. The more that you engage in this compulsion, the deeper that tie becomes. The less you engage in it, it's just like a weed. If you don't water that shit, it's gonna wither away. And that cord goes from a steel cable to a fucking barbed wire to a fucking piece of floss and eventually snaps away. And when you do that in a certain plane, that allows you to access a piece of the puzzle. You're no longer bound to that plane. It's back into alignment. And when you put it back into alignment, which is going to be oriented towards your dharma, then you move on to the next plane. You do other practices to put you in that plane. And you examine what compulsions you have there and do the same things, practice of renunciation to pull off your reaction to those karmic compulsions. And the more you do that, the more it withers away, and the more it withers away, the more it dies. So you are not going to be composed to any plane of consciousness. All of them are free for you to access. You're not going into a certain plane and you get stuck there like you were before. You have opened up all the floors of the elevator. But the way you get up this elevator is first by going up the stairs. One by one, piece by piece. And when you get to the top, now you can go up and down this fucking elevator as much as you want. You can go up and down the spine as much as you want because there is no obstacles in the way. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what's called the right hand path of self-mastery, aka Dakshinashara within the tantric traditions. This is a system, a science that is designed to help you renounce and dissolve those karmas to discover your dharma by ascending up the spine. Because in this time and day that we are living in right now, which is called Kali Yuga in the yogic traditions, basically what this means is that, oh damn, there's a fucking mole rat or something. Oh yeah, but the yugas are essentially cycles of time, because in this tradition, time doesn't go in a linear fashion. It goes in cycles. And the cycle that we're living in right now is called Kali Yuga. And basically, to sum it up, when you are living in Kali Yuga, your consciousness spawns. Just like in a video game, it spawns in a certain part of the map, your consciousness spawns in the lower parts of your spine. That's your starting point when you enter this game of life in the Kali Yuga. So you're starting at the bottom of your spine, and these parts of the spine, again, are associated with survival, sex, and status, those planes. And we're talking about the chakra scale, Muladhara. We're talking about, Muladhara is the root chakra, the Svadhisthana, the sacral, and the Manipura, the solar plexus. That's where you're basically rooted in. And one of those, you have your own home base of chakra, but that's not something that we're going to be talking about today. But you are basically starting off at that point. So you are born into compulsion. You're born as a slave to the body, because all you're thinking about from the moment you were born is about the body. And the world that we're living in today, society that we're living in today, is all oriented towards the body. It's hard to argue when somebody punches you in the face, right? You can't be like, oh, no, that didn't happen, this and that. No, your conscience is so rooted in the body, it feels pain a lot. It feels the compulsions of the body a lot. But you can debate if you had a spiritual awakening experience, because it's not tangible. And the way your consciousness operates is through the senses right now. So the senses are the things that are controlling your existence. The reason you practice renunciation on the right hand is to remove the constricting force that your senses have over your consciousness right now. It's not to say your senses are bad or any of these compulsions are bad, but when they, again, are dictating your life and pulling you away from realizing your entire self, only keeping you in the conscious planes of knowing the body and knowing the brain, but you are disconnected from knowing your soul, that's when it becomes an issue. So what we're trying to do right now through the right-hand path is to go from the lower parts of the spine up to the higher, the lower chakras up to the higher. Go from the body and the brain back to the spirit. To, again, understand what will satisfy your soul. Because this is how it should be playing. Your soul knows its dharma. Your brain analyzes and, basically interprets what that is, but your body acts it out. So think about it like this. Your soul knows a blueprint of what's going to bring you towards fulfillment in life. Your brain, your mind knows how to plan it out, and your body acts it out. Right now, your brain and body are just the ones calling all the shots. It thinks it knows your dharma. It thinks it knows how to plan it out, and it's just acting upon it. Your soul is not a part of this process, so you're incomplete. Again, the self, yourself, is the union of your mind, body, and soul working together in harmony. That's what we're trying to achieve in yoga. Yoga don't mean stretching. Yoga means union, and this is the union we're talking about, the union of the self. In order for us to do this in this lifetime, other lifetimes and other yugas are different, but in this one, in Kali Yuga, we must awaken the spirit by unlocking our mind and purifying our bodies. And this is done through, again, the right-hand path, where we go from the lower parts of the spine that is associated with the body up to the higher planes of consciousness, which is associated with the spirit. Because once we go up this mountain, which is a metaphor for your spine, you will get to the top of the mountain and reopen and remember what that blueprint is. What is the blueprint of what you've been designed by the divine to do? What's going to bring you into actual fulfillment? What's going to bring you into that state of liberation, because you're living a life that is natural to you, where you're no longer dependent on this thing and this thing and that thing to feel some dopamine. No, you are accessing divine nectar when you're living in that state, and now you are liberated. You're not bound to any plane of consciousness, and you're not bound to any compulsion. You are free, an ever-free soul, walking through this reality, using the brain, using the body to fully realize the self. Again, the right-hand path up the mountain, we call that self-mastery. At the top, at the summit, we call that self-realization. On the descent down the mountain, that's a whole another topic for a whole nother day. It's called Vamachara, the left-hand path. that is where we actualize the self. We express our Dharma to the fullest extent. But before we fucking start building shit, we gotta figure out what we're trying to build, what is natural for us to build. We need that blueprint, bitch. And that waits you at the top of this mountain. That awaits you at the top of your spine, bitch. But again, this mountain's got obstacles. You walk up a little bit and there's big ass boulder in your way. God damn it, man. Are you just gonna stay stuck in that part of the mountain forever? Or are you gonna learn how to break through it? And then when we go up a little bit more, there's another boulder. Are you gonna stay stuck there, or are you gonna break through it? Are you gonna break through it? This is what we are trying to accomplish along the journey of self-mastery. To break through all those boulders to get to the top, because what awaits us at the top, again, is that knowledge, that remembrance of your Dharma, of your destiny, of what's natural to you, of who you are meant to be within this reality, aside from just somebody that's a slave to their senses. I don't know your Dharma. Your dad don't know your Dharma. Your mom don't know your Dharma. Nobody knows your Dharma but you. You don't need to find your Dharma. You've just forgotten it. You're stuck in a state of what I like to call, when you're living in those lower planes and you're stuck there, spiritual amnesia, a state of spiritual amnesia. Not Alzheimer's, not dementia. I'm talking about spiritual amnesia. You go to the fucking doctor right now, you go to the ER, you go to whatever, medical facility around you, and you say, hey man, I'm suffering from spiritual amnesia. This guy on YouTube told me what's the solution. They're gonna laugh at your face because this ain't no physical disease. This is a metaphysical disease. And the only solution to this is to go to the Dharma doctor. Not a regular doctor, you need to go to the Dharma doctor. And that's the role I'm playing right now, man, the Dharma doctor. I don't know your Dharma, but what I do know for damn sure is how to dissolve those karmas. Because there is a science to this shit. This is what I study, this is what I talk about over here on this channel, aka the Philosopher Files, right here in the field, in the flesh, dropping y'all that game so you guys can make these games. You dig what the fuck I'm saying? No cuts, no edits, just straight up speaking off the dome. That's what we do over here. That's what we do over on the main channel, The Philosopher. Matter of fact, if you don't know about the main channel yet, man, you are missing out. Because like I just said, this channel right here is my second channel, The Philosopher Files. Some of y'all don't even know that. Some of y'all, maybe this is the first time you've ever watched me. Yeah, man, I got a main channel too up in this bitch, where we are still uncovering this esoteric science of self-mastery, but from a whole different angle. Because on these videos, on this channel, this is how we break it down. Off the dome, no cuts, no edits, keeping it raw, authentic, and unfiltered. Long form content, like we basically having a one-on-one conversation, like I'm doing a podcast out here literally in the field, in the flesh, where I'm dropping out that game so you guys can make these gains on every single plane. You dig what I'm saying? But if you want to see another side of the coin where we are still talking about these same topics, chopping it up about these same types of concepts, and uncovering this esoteric science of self-mastery just from a different angle, that's what the main channel is all about, aka The Philosopher. And you can find a link to the main channel, The Philosopher, within the description box down below of this video. Click that link, subscribe, get up on some game show out here looking like a lame. You dig what I'm saying? Come on now, man, because every time you tap into a main channel video, man, I'm telling you, bro, you were tapping into a goddamn movie. It's a cinematic experience every time you tune into a Philosopher video. With the nice, clean cuts, nice, clean edits, the visuals, the script, the music. I'm telling you, man, a cinematic experience. If I'm wrong, let me know. Let me know. So maybe you enjoyed that channel more. Maybe you enjoy this channel more. Maybe you just want the best of both worlds, but you ain't gonna know until you know. So definitely tap in with the main channel, The Philosopher, by clicking the link posted in the description box down below. Subscribe, get up on some game, and also underneath the link to my main channel, within the description box, you'll find a link to my Instagram. If you ever want to talk about these different types of topics, chop it up about these different types of concepts, my DMs are always open. Do not be shy. Shoot your boy a shot. Slide in the DMs. Not like that, though. Pause. I don't roll like that. But don't be shy. Shoot your boy a shot. Let's connect over there. Let's talk about these different types of topics. Let's chop it up at these different types of concepts, man. And of course, follow me on Instagram. Connect with me over there. Get up on all the game that we're cooking up over on that platform as well. Again, description box down below. Make sure you go run up both of those, the Instagram and the main channel, The Philosopher. Subscribe, get up on game, and also connect with me on the Instagram. Again, if you ever want to chop it up, shoot your boy a DM, slide in DMs like that, and we'll speak about these things. But also, what I was saying, all the stuff that we talk about on this channel, all the stuff that we talk about on the main channel, all the stuff that we talk about on the private Patreon community. Matter of fact, shout out to the fucking private Patreon community, because I got to give a shout out to my boys over there. Look, man, most people have already clicked off this video. Most people can't handle the way I talk. Most people can't pick up what the fuck I'm putting down. But you still here. You still here, motherfucker. And why is that the case? You are basically what I like to call a spiritual savage. Only a spiritual savage makes it this far into the video. Most all the other, brain rot motherfuckers have already left. Most of the other people that ain't about this life have already left, but you still here watching this. You a real spiritual savage. You're a real aspirant. You are sick and tired of being sick and tired of living life stuck in your lower planes of consciousness, where you are living a life in a state of being incomplete, so you feel incomplete. You're ready to do what it takes to walk up the right-hand path, to dissolve your karmas and discover your dharma. You're a true devotee of this path of self-mastery. If that wasn't the case, I'm telling you, man, you would have clicked off. So that's what I'm guessing. You're one of those motherfuckers, a spiritual savage, if you made it this far. If you are one of those individuals, you consider yourself a spiritual savage, I'm gonna need you to do me a quick favor right here, right now. Go find the closest mirror to you. I don't care if it's in the selfie camera of your phone. I don't care if it's in your bathroom. I don't care if it's in somebody else's car window. Stare into that window, make them uncomfortable, do what you gotta do, and take a good, hard in that look in that mirror for me. Come on, man. Stare right into the eyes of that man that's looking at you into that mirror. Stare right into the soul of that man that's staring right back at you when you look into that mirror. Really let it get a mental picture going on. Really let it marinate into your mind. Really let it sink into your psyche. Really analyze it. Because I need you, yes, you, to realize that you're doing that man, not me. The guy that's staring right into your eyes and right into your soul when you look into that mirror, you're doing him a huge motherfucking disfavor by not joining up into the private Patreon community yet if you consider yourself a real spiritual savage. If you're someone who's serious about this path of self-mastery. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired again of living a life in a state of incompletion. You are ready to realize your dharma and you're ready to walk up the right-hand path. Because I'm telling you, man, if you enjoy the content that we're cooking up over here on this channel, if you enjoy the content that we're cooking up over on the main channel, your mind is going to be blown with the type of information and content that we're cooking up over on the private Patreon community. Because I'm telling you, man, we are uncovering this esoteric science of self-mastery to a level that you've never seen over there. I'm talking about exclusive videos you ain't gonna find on this channel. You ain't gonna find on the main channel. As a matter of fact, you ain't gonna find it over on anywhere else in the internet. Because it's some real deal game, real deal sauce for your motherfucking brain to help you elevate on every single plane. You dig what I'm saying? This is for those who are truly serious about this path. This is for those who are actually about this life. So if you consider yourself a spiritual savage, not only do you get access to all these exclusive videos by joining up into the private Patreon community, but also access to all of our full guides, our in-depth occult lectures, our digital libraries, and most importantly, an invitation to the motherfucking philosopher circle. Yes, sir, you heard me right. Not the philosopher circle. I'm talking about the motherfucking philosopher circle, aka our private inner circle community, where you'll be invited to our private group chat, where you'll be surrounded with other spiritual savages, other like-minded men who are walking up this mountain of self-mastery side by side with you. Remember, this path is individual. I can't master the self for you. You can't master the self for me. We're all walking up the same spine, but we're doing it in a different manner. You might start off here on the mountain. I might start off over there. You might take this route. I might take that route. But at the end of the day, the science to get up to the summit is universal. This is the right-hand path. This is Dakshinachara. So if you want to be surrounded with individuals that are on the same journey as you, who are going to hold you accountable along the way, who want to see you elevate and inevitably want to see you liberate, this is the place to be. The Philosopher Circle is the place to be, my guy. And I can 100% guarantee you that, because this ain't just some private group chat. This is also where we host our bi-weekly Mastermind live calls. Yes, sir, you heard me right. Bi-weekly Mastermind live calls where we hop in a live call with me, as well as this community of like-minded men who are also on this path of self-mastery, where you can get practical and personalized guidance for your path, where you can be held accountable, where we can all talk about elevation and inevitable spiritual liberation within this incarnation. Oh man, that's a bar. Write it down, motherfucker. Somebody better clip that shit. Come on now, man. Somebody better clip that shit. So look, if you're someone serious about this path, I'm telling you, man, this is the place to be. Because you've all heard the saying, you are the sum of the 5 people that you're hanging around most with. If you're living and hanging around with people that are consciously rooted in their lower planes and stuck in that bitch, you're going to be the 6th motherfucker stuck up in that bitch. But if you want to be around real spiritual savages that are breaking through those boulders, dissolving their karmas to discover their dharma, you need to be in this community, because this is where you'll find them. The Philosopher's Circle is the place to be, my boy. And if you need any more information about the Philosopher's Circle and the private Patreon community as a whole, check out the link posted in the pinned comment of this video. Not the description box. Again, description box is where you'll find my main channel link and my Instagram link. Just scroll in the comment section. It's the first comment pinned up by me. Click that link. You'll be forwarded to our page. From there, you can join up as a member of the private Patreon community, but also check out the other links to the other services I provide, such as my personalized coaching program. If you're someone who's truly serious about this path and looking to work with me mano a mano, one-on-one, to help guide you up the spine, guide you up the mountain of self-mastery by curating a personalized approach using this esoteric science of self-mastery for you and your compulsions, to make sure that we break free from all these ties that is holding you back from realizing your dharma. This is what this coaching program is all about. Because again, this is a personalized approach to this path. This is something that is individualized for you, using, again, the esoteric science of self-mastery, but specifically for your compulsions and specifically for your path to realize your dharma. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of living a life in this state where you're a slave to your senses, where you're living in the cycle of what society wants to keep you stuck in, you are unsatisfied, you feel incomplete, I'm telling you, man, this is the coaching program for you to dissolve your karmas and discover your dharma. Because like I said, man, I don't know your dharma. But what I do know for damn sure is how to dissolve your karmas. Your dharma is like the sun. The sun is always out. The sun is beaming on me. It feels great. A couple days ago, cloudy as a bitch. Couldn't see shit. That's a bar, write it down. Do I come out of my house and be like, oh man, I can't see the sun. The sun is not there. I gotta go find the sun. No, I know it's there, just covered up by clouds. I'm telling you, your dharma is there. It's just covered up by clouds. But these clouds ain't just regular clouds. They're karmic clouds. So when you dissolve those karmas and inevitably ascend up the spine, you'll inevitably get to the position of your dharma, realizing what that is. I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you, I can guide you, I can teach you on how these compulsions are blocking you from it, and also prescribe you, just like a dharma doctor, these practices, these sadhanas, to help you overcome those things that are keeping you stuck in certain planes. So if you want to be a part of this personalized coaching program and actually dissolve your karmas to discover your dharma, shoot your boy an application by clicking that link posted in the pinned comment of this video, and we'll see if your entry meets the qualifications and criteria for the coaching program. But if you just want to book, let's say, a one-time call with your boy, discuss anything that you're dealing with to help you get back on the right track towards, again, dissolving your karmas and discovering your dharma through this esoteric science of self-mastery, that's what we got our consultation calls to as well. You can book it, again, by using that link posted in the pinned comment of this video. Click that, you'll be forwarded to our page. From there, you can pick and choose whether it's joining up into the Philosopher's Circle, applying to the coaching program, or booking a consultation call with me. You can pick and choose which one of these services best suits you. But like I was saying, man, all the stuff that I talk about here on this channel, all the stuff that we talk about over on the main channel, all the stuff that I especially talk about in the private Patreon community and on my personalized coaching program is centered around this science of self-mastery. How you can consciously ascend up your spine and get all the pieces of the puzzle of your dharma to realize what is the most natural to you, to realize what is going to fulfill you, to realize what you've been designed to do. Your consciousness is the key, holds the keys to realize your destiny. It truly does. Consciousness is everything. The way you perceive life right now is based off what plane of consciousness that you're in. You are stuck perceiving life at a minuscule fraction of what your life can be fully integrated into. And the reason why you're stuck in those states is because these compulsions are programmed into your consciousness from the moment you were born in order to keep you stuck there. That is the goal of this system, of the cabal, to keep you stuck in that plane. So they can mold you into a mere cog in their machine. They can drain you of your prana. They can drain you of your life force and allow you to become an automaton of their agenda. If you want to be a true sovereign being, what awaits you is a path to self-mastery. This is the price that must be paid. And this ain't an easy path. This ain't all sunshines and rainbows on the right hand. This is the razor's edge. Because what you're going to be doing on this journey is to renounce all the attachments to what this fake version of you has evolved into. This version of you is not the true you. This is a fake ego. You must peel back all the layers of the onion, all those compulsions that keeps those layers there, to realize your core, what is natural to you. And now you can rebuild that onion, restructure the ego around that. The core that you've been living your life with is the conditioning of what society told you is successful. This is what's good in life. It's not what's natural to you. It is not what's natural to you. And that's why you're stuck in coping mechanisms. That's why you're stuck in addictions. That's why you're stuck in dissatisfaction and spiritual malnourishment. You're lacking that divine nectar in your life because you are lacking your dharma. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's within you. It's within your consciousness. And the more you understand this science, the more you will get the keys to crack the code, to get to your core. And once you've realized that blueprint, that's when life actually starts being life for you. That's when you actually start living. Right now, you're sleepwalking. Right now, you're just existing in reality. You're not living, you're existing. You are simply just existing. You're a placeholder. You're an NPC. You're not living your life. You're not a hero of your own journey. You're not a main character of your own life. Because your consciousness is being pulled, has its strings being pulled by the conditioning of society. You don't know what you're doing. You're just unconsciously doing shit. Oh, my friends are doing this, so I'm going to do it. Oh, society told me this is good, so I'm doing it. You see what I'm saying? And even though you might be checking off all the boxes of what this conditioning is telling you to pursue, you still feel unfulfilled. You can teach a bird how to swim as much as you want. It can be a quote-unquote good swimmer. But at the end of the day, it's unsatisfied because it's not meant to swim, it's meant to fly. You can teach a fucking fish how to fly as much as you want. At the end of the day, no matter how good it gets at flying, it's going to feel unfulfilled because it's meant to swim. Until you find that dharma, what is natural to you, you're going to be living life like that fish trying to fly and that bird trying to swim. Yeah, you might get by, but what's the point? You're never going to be fulfilled throughout the process. But if you get back to what you know you're meant to do, imagine a bird forgets that it's meant to fly, and all the people around him telling you, no, you're meant to swim, you're meant to swim. But if it goes through this process of remembering its dharma and what it's designed to do, it's going to find fulfillment. It's going to be its own sovereign entity. It's not going to listen to what society says. It's going to listen to what's within its soul. And that's why I'm saying this is a razor's edge. You're going against everything that you've been sold and told your entire life. All the lies, all the programming, all the BS, all the conditioning is going to crumble before your very eyes. And that is literally inducing an ego death. Slow but sure ego death, a slow burn. And some people can handle that, but majority cannot. They are too attached to this life. They're too attached to their chains. They're too attached to their jail. They're too attached to their masters. They're too comfortable as slaves. They've been conditioned to be comfortable as a slave. If you made it this far into the video, you don't want to be a slave. You're not comfortable with hearing these words. It's pissing you off, and it's making you realize, damn, I've been living my life off the codes and conducts of what other people say is right. What's natural to me, you don't even know. You do know, but you forgot. And you're allowing other people to, drop their opinion and what they view as successful in life on your head. You don't even remember what's natural to you. you're comfortable as a slave, because your consciousness has become accustomed to these lower planes and to the karmas that it's accumulated. But at the end of the day, deep down, if you put yourself on a lie detector and you say, hey man, yeah, I'm not satisfied with my life, I'm not fulfilled, how are you going to argue against this? How? There's a price that must be paid in order to get to that state of fulfillment, and very few people will do it. But if you're watching this video and you made it this far, I'm guessing you are willing to do what it takes. Because look, man, let's be honest, man. I know I'm entertaining and I know I look good, but goddamn it, you didn't listen to me yap out here in the field, in the flesh, for you guys, for damn near an hour straight, just because you want to get entertained. I'm not that entertaining and I don't look that good. Let's pump the brakes. You are watching this still. You have not clicked off because you resonate with the message. I always say this to people that watch this channel in specific, my second channel, aka the Philosopher Files, where we're out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping out a games. You guys can make these games, no cuts, no edits, just straight up speaking off the dome. You guys are in the 1% of the population that is not suffering from brain rot. Most people cannot listen to a video for this long. And you add on top of that the density of the types of topics that we discuss over here is going right over everyone's head. They cannot fathom it. You are more matured and more psychologically and spiritually advanced than the masses. Am I saying that you're a chosen one because you watch this channel? Absolutely not. I don't know how, I don't know why, and matter of fact, I don't even care about how you can resonate with this message. Maybe in the past lives, you dissolve some of your karmas that put you better in position in this lifetime, in this incarnation, to be able to receive this knowledge of Dharma and actually allow it to marinate in your mind, allow it to be understood by your mind. But at the end of the day, it don't mean shit if you just keep it up in your mind. If it's just knowledge, if it's just understanding. You must apply what I'm talking about. You need to turn that knowledge into gnosis. You need to turn that understanding into understanding. You must go from the head to the heart, and the only way you make that transition is through first-hand experience. I ain't gonna fucking hold your hand up this mountain. I'm walking up the same mountain with you. I'm on the front lines, bitch. I might be a couple steps ahead, and I'm trying to help streamline other people's journey on this path to self-mastery. But you gotta do it yourself. You gotta grow a pair of balls, grab your nutsack, and get the fuck up there. Some people will hear the call to climb the mountain. Other people will make it up halfway, but only a real fucking savage will meet me at the summit. I'm making my way up that bitch, and I better see you there. I better see you there. And the only way I'll see you there is if you start applying what we're talking about here. This esoteric science of self-mastery. And again, everything I'm talking about in my teachings has already been said and done. I'm not making this shit up, bro. I'm not that smart. I promise you, I'm not that smart. All I'm doing, my dharma, my destiny, my duty, and hopefully you can feel this through the screen on every one of my videos, how passionate I'm about this, is to revive dharma, to resurrect dharma, to bring it back into the modern day world and break it down like a motherfucking brick for y'all. So the modern day man, like you, like me, can apply this wisdom into their lives and dissolve their karmas to discover their dharma, especially right here, right now in Kali Yuga, because the ancient Aryan sages of the East have already laid down the blueprint on how mankind can live in alignment with the divine through accessing his dharma. I'm just taking that knowledge, bringing that wisdom back, reviving dharma. Every time you tap into one of these videos, remember that. I'm not making this shit up. So if you resonate with the message, you resonate with the message. It's not just a messenger. Yes, maybe the way I spin it, maybe the way I break it down is the thing that finally allows it to click within your consciousness. But at the end of the day, forget about the messenger. Focus on the message. The Dharma is speaking through me and to you, and it's telling you, hey man, it's time. This incarnation could be your one-way ticket to spiritual liberation. If you are willing to walk up this mountain, to dissolve your karmas and discover your dharma. By no means is this an easy path, and by no means are many people gonna make it up to the top. But if you're watching this video, look man, you are resonating with the message and the Dharma is clearly speaking through me and to you, or you would have clicked off. Your consciousness is able to understand this. But again, understanding is only part one. Understanding is the next part. Getting the wisdom is only part one. Applying the wisdom is the next part. That's the most important. You know, self-improvement motherfuckers that watch video after video after video, read self-help book after self-help book after self-help book, yet never apply the wisdom, never apply the knowledge. They're called mental masturbators, just circle jerking to all this content. Well, I'm calling you, yes, you motherfucker, if you're just gonna watch all my videos over and over and over again, and be like, oh man, that makes a lot of sense, this and that, and just go back into the same compulsions, I'm calling you a spiritual masturbator. You ain't applying this knowledge. You ain't applying this wisdom. You're circle jerking to my content. And that's weird, man. That's sus. That's pause. Get the fuck up out of here if you're doing that. You need to go walk this mountain firsthand for yourself, to see firsthand for yourself what Dharma really feels like, what it means to live in alignment to your destiny. By, again, unlocking the keys that is held within your consciousness up the spine. And you might be wondering, how do I do that? Well, of course, we got all the content over here breaking this down. We have all the content over the main channel breaking it down. If you want more literal practices, techniques, tips, accountability, all that stuff, that's what we got all of our services for in the private Patreon community. This is for those who are serious. This is for those who are about this life. Just understanding these concepts, yeah, you can find it over here. But if you want to really apply this shit, that's what we got, again, the private Patreon community for, the Philosopher's Circle, my personalized coaching program, a consultation call for. Again, in the pinned comments video, if you're really ready and you want more in-depth analysis on how you can ascend up your spine, that's what these services are for. There is no excuse for you not to be able to produce that now. You understand these concepts, you can watch all my videos, you can get the realization, and you have all these tools at your disposal to apply the science into your own life, to make it up to the next plane, and then see the compulsions and burn off those and get to the next plane. Actually walk the right hand. Break past these obstacles and boulders. You have the tools. All you need now is your motherfucking balls to make it happen, to be bold enough to go against the grain of what society is telling you. So I'm saying, man, this path is for the savages. What you might see in other spiritual content, you know, the new age shit and religious shit, oh, peace, love, light, happiness, we're all one. Nah, man, I don't do that. I don't do that. That's if you want to spiritually bypass. Oh, man, I'm so spiritual, I don't have to worry about this. Nah, man, the real path of spirituality is one for warriors. And I'm talking about talking to the savages that are ready to take up their sword and actually fight against the system that is suffocating their souls for years and incarnations and incarnations. Samsara is keeping you like a bitch in this cycle. You're under a spell. And until you wake up from this dream, you'll never realize your destiny. Your consciousness is being hijacked, and you're the only one that can take back control, reclaim back your power, and revive your understanding of Dharma, reveal what your Dharma is through walking the right hand. Do you see what I'm saying? Or are you picking up what I'm putting down? Each plane holds a piece of the puzzle to paint out the picture of your Dharma. But each plane holds a poison that you must overcome. And each practice puts you in a specific plane, and another practice on top of that allows you to renounce your attachment to those compulsions by renouncing, just like making that weed wither away by not giving it water. First, you must get into that plane with specific practices. Then, when you're in that plane, you identify the compulsion and you renounce your prana, your energy being siphoned away to it. And once you cut that streamline of prana through renunciation, you take back the power that it was draining for you. Now that poison is no longer there. And now you've opened up the doorway to the next plane. And there are many planes, 7 planes, that you must overcome to fully realize your Dharma. You must master the self before you realize the self. And once you've realized the self, it's time to actualize the self. That is going up the right hand, getting to the top of the summit, and walking down the left. This is the journey of a spiritual savage. First, we must focus on the ascent. Don't worry about the other shit now. The ascent and what awaits you at the summit. Dissolve your karmas, motherfucker, and you'll discover your Dharma. Your consciousness holds the keys to realize and reveal your destiny. But again, there are blockages, there are calcifications in each plane of consciousness that is keeping you stuck and only a fraction of what your full spectrum of reality can offer you. And until you break free from these, you will remain stuck in these lower planes and remain stuck as a slave to the system, as a slave to yourself, in a state of incompletion, which leaves you feeling incomplete and not whole. If you're sick and tired of that, then hopefully, I'll be seeing you at the top of this mountain of self-mastery, where you can realize your dharma, realize your destiny, and start living in alignment to what you've been designed to do, what is most natural to you. And finally, achieve liberation. It's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping out at games. You guys can make these gains. I'm out here. Peace.